me turn my fan off. Maybe
Okay.
I'll hear better if it's off.
What's going on, Attack Squad? It's your boy, Mr. Anime 343, and I actually have a cough drop in my mouth because I'm trying to conceal the cough here, and today I'm actually joined by DD, and apparently I'm actually doing a snow day live stream because we actually have a massive snowstorm coming up on the northeast, and
Oh yeah, you live in Maine too, don't you?
yes, I do.
The only reason I know about it is because I have an Amazon account, but I don't have Prime. However, my brother and sister-in-law have Prime, so I wanted to save like the $6 for shipping. So I had my sister-in-law order the game for me on her account.
Yeah, in fact, hey, Jaden, what's going on? And also, yeah, it's pretty much snowing where I am too, because like I said, I live up in Maine, so.
Well, my sister-in-law was gonna call me yesterday, and she never did.
Ah,
And I asked her because she said she was, and she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been busy, and there's a snowstorm." And I'm like, "Don't worry. I'm gonna order your game." And I'm like, "Okay, thank you. Hug my nephew for me." She
ah,
called me earlier, and she said, "I'm sorry I couldn't call you last night." And I said, "Well, that's why I said, okay, thank you, hug my nephew," because I kind of figured trying not to become a White Walker in Game of Thrones is more important than, if I get a video game or not.
yeah, exactly. But in all seriousness, we all gotta do what we gotta do. And yeah, yesterday I was actually pretty much, dealing with with my doxer still talking shit about me. I
Jesus,
swear
do
to
they have a life?
no, they don't because here's the thing. This person just loves to talk shit about me and you guys because apparently they have absolutely no life whatsoever outside of social media
I
or
mean,
TV
I mean,
sponsor.
even before I left Twitter, I might be on for maybe an hour, two at most, and then I'd go on with my life, doing my chores and stuff. I
Yeah,
wasn't like every 5 minutes, like, what shit are they saying about me? What are they saying?
exactly. And also, I did receive a little bit of criticism for like me dunking on Razor Fist from Big Country, but we were both not really in the best of moods because I was still fucking dealing with the Holmes, aka my doxer. Fucking pisses me off every chance he gets. Oh, can't stand that guy. But
I
I
don't
cannot.
think anyone could stand that guy.
But in all seriousness, we actually had a bit of a back and forth, and he starts criticizing me. I understand where he's coming from and all that, but hey, what's done is done. I actually speak my piece. If I actually have an opinion on something, I'll voice it. Simple as that.
Are we talking about the violence versus sex thing again? Because, again, example, Game of Thrones, and you got to give the show this. At least they bumped Daenerys up in age when they did the show, as opposed to the book where she's 13.
No, 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 no. It wasn't that. It was actually me dunking on Razor Fist.
Oh, well, I still stand my ground. At least they bumped up Daenerys' age so it's not so creepy that she's married off to a barbarian man.
Yeah,
But, but, and yeah, maybe I'd like not every 5 minutes there'd be sex, sex, sex. But I definitely would prefer sex, sex, sex over seeing a. Oh, well, they didn't show it in the show. If you read the, you know what happened to Theon. Got his eggs and sausage cut off by Ramsay Snow.
oh God.
Yeah.
I had not read the book of Game of Thrones, so
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
implied in the book. The only reason they cut away is evidently that's the part that's too much when it comes to violence. Not not when a guy gets flayed alive. No, when a 18-year-old boy gets his eggs and sausage cut off. That's where we shouldn't show it.
Exactly. Basically, just castrate someone like that. That is just absolutely disgusting.
I love that the fact that someone might see genitalia is where they're like, okay, maybe we shouldn't show this violence. But everything else is a okay. Stab, stab, stab. Slice your face off. Stab, stab, stab. Blow
Yeah,
them up. Stab, stab, stab. You get what I'm saying?
yeah, I get what you're saying, and basically, you know, it's like a double standard. Freaking violence is okay, whereas sex is, oh my god, we got to get the fucking government to crack down on this shit.
And they can't even say, won't someone please think of the children if you argue this? Because it's like, if you're letting your kid watch or read Game of Thrones, that's your fault if your child gets warped and twisted. Because obviously, this is for an adult audience, not children.
Exactly. Basically, us adults don't deserve anything. We just actually have to think of the kids and try to center things down to the lowest
Oh,
common
how
denominator.
about cartoon is for children? Oh, yeah, Family Guy, that's definitely for kids.
Or the Simpsons,
Sex
for that matter.
Crazed Pilot, yeah, that's child appropriate.
Yeah. Oh god. People don't understand. If
Oh,
it's
and I wish I would love to look online and see if there's anyone complaining about Fritz the cat, and it's like there are ratings for a reason. Just because it's animated doesn't mean it's gonna be for your crotch fruit.
I actually wouldn't say crotch fruit. I'd say crotch spawn.
I prefer crotch fruit.
But still, nonetheless, that's a good one.
Hell, Watership Down. While it's not sexually depraved like Fritz the cat, that is something you should not show your children, especially if they like cute, fluffy bunnies.
Yeah, and I've actually seen Fritz the Cat. That was pretty much a head trip and a half right there.
Yeah, hell, I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, holy shit! Imagine if my parents had found this at like Blockbuster when I was a kid, thinking it was a cutesy child's movie. I'd probably be scarred for life.
In fact, I watched it. I was actually watching it on Amazon Prime. That's how I actually.
I'm talking about the one from like the 70s, not the CGI one.
No. There. I'm talking. Yeah. Oh, that's the one I watched. The one from the 70s. Yeah, the 2D one.
And for those wondering how bad could it be, my parents let me watch things like Interview with a Vampire as a child.
Whoa.
So that's how bad it was that I could watch something like Interview with a Vampire where there's blood and gore everywhere along with romance at certain points and be okay, but if I were to see bunnies getting smothered to death and stuff, it wouldn't be surprising if I was a serial killer if I had seen that as a child.
Yeah.
She was always so quiet, then she saw Watership Down and all hell broke loose.
Yeah. In fact, it's pretty messed up, but like you said, there's a freaking rating system. Just because it's rated M doesn't mean it's for minors.
Oh, and the labyrinth. I have this joke because I really didn't notice David Bowie's little goblin in his pants, as we'll call it, until I hit puberty. So I always joke and say, yay, singing, and then after puberty, whoa, what the fuck is that?
Whoa. Yeah, that is just a freaking head trip and a half right there, dudes.
It's amazing how puberty changes everything. Something you could have enjoyed as a child, it's like holy shit, because you start noticing like boobs and stuff.
Hey, we got Joker on. Hey,
Hey,
dude.
Check.
Joker.
Yep, I can hear you.
Uh, could you actually say that again, dude? I didn't hear you.
Up one.
But in all
Yeah, I can hear you.
seriousness, okay, good. You still there, Joker?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still
Okay,
here.
well, yeah. Anyway, like I said, I'm just trying to actually. I started watching My Dress Up Darling. I saw the first episode, and I gotta say that was beautiful. And I just can't understand why people are just so freaking like obsessed with like age in anime. It's like, what the hell? Can't you just let freaking lines on paper actually be what it is? Instead of just like, oh, this is actually childhood. Oh,
Yeah, this is kind of like the whole orc argument thing. Never looked at an orc and instantly thought black guy. Still don't see it, but now I have that stupidity thanks to these assholes in my head. But
oh
it's basically if you're seeing black people in orcs, I don't think Wizards of the Coast are the racist ones.
nope. Basically, here's the thing. These people are willing to bend over backwards just so they can actually appease the outrage mobs. And they're just trying to bend the knee to these people. And you know what they're doing? They're just actually freaking opening the floodgates for them. And that's their freaking issue. Is actually just bending over backwards, freaking taking it up the backside, and just, all this freaking. Oh, God. It's just ridiculous.
Well, like example, not Hell of a Boss, Has Been Hotel. Sorry, because Hell of a Boss has more episodes. I tend to remember that one more. But we get a background on Nifty that she was, as you can see with her outfit, she wears a poodle skirt, which was popular during the 50s. She basically wanted to be a housewife, hence why she's hired as the maid at the hotel. And she wanted to be a wife, she wanted a husband and stuff. And there are people who say because she's a short girl that she's a child, and it's like Nifty, according to her information, was 20 when she died. That's not a child.
It's like the same freaking argument as like Uzaki-chan. Basically, people are thinking that a short stack woman at the canonical age of 20 is actually a freaking kid.
And then,
Oh,
as Vivzy Pop has said, your form in hell equates to either your death or your sin.
ugh.
So I don't know what could equate to Nifty being short for her death, but she could have been annoying like a tiny gnat or something. Something. So that's why she's short and deaf. She's got one eye.
Ah,
Could be a reference to her having one goal in focus, which is to find a husband.
ah.
Well, I'm just giving an idea of why she'd be possibly be a cyclops,
Yeah,
because it's revealed she wanted to be a housewife and have a good husband and stuff. So if that was all she was focusing on, that's basically the only thing she has her eye on.
yeah, in fact, that's actually an interesting point. Because, basically, this is why we need to actually let fiction be fiction. Just like what Otaku Daikun said. Always let fiction be fiction, no matter what. because at the end of the day, we're just actually being told stories and stuff like that. Something that freaking woke Hollywood doesn't even understand.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh, we lost Shadow.
Actually, we lost Joker.
Uh,
I
Silent
already,
Joker. Sorry.
yeah, but in all
Anyway,
seriousness, go
I
ahead.
recently found out the very first Game of Thrones came out in 1996. I'm like, Jesus, Martin, I hope you have your story of how you want your story to go outlined because you're not exactly a spring chicken. You're taking a while to publish the next book. I mean, J.K. Rowling, 11 or 12 years at most if we factor in that
Hey,
she's
I'm here. Sorry
if
I
Hey,
was
we
Shadow,
late.
if we
that's
factor
okay.
in that she had to at least write the first book first before publishing it.
Wait,
Yeah,
Mr. A, aren't you supposed to be at work?
no, dude. Snow day. Basically, my
Oh
entire
yeah.
work is actually closed down for today. That's
Oh.
why I'm actually doing this live stream.
Oh. I was just wondering because you didn't do one on Friday, and
You are aware that Mr. Anime lives in one of the northern states, right? So chances are, if
no,
it snows bad,
I did not know that.
Yeah, like I said, dude. I live up in Maine. Okay, that's where I live.
I did not
Just
know that.
well, there you go. I mean, I keep mentioning I live up in Maine quite a few times during
Wait.
the streams. So
Oh. Oh.
yeah,
either
I
that or
actually when I came in earlier, I actually said, "Oh yeah, you live in Maine too." That's how that's how I know about the snowstorm is because my brother and sister-in-law live up in Maine now.
Oh yeah, speaking of snowstorm, I had to shovel this driveway and the so yeah, that's why
yeah.
I'm late.
And besides, hey, you do what you gotta do. Okay, that that's how it is. We all actually
Yeah,
have
that's
to
true.
we all actually have to pitch in and help people out because I live with my grandparents and I actually have to do things for them. So that's why I actually do this kind of stuff because
Well,
I
that's
just feel like,
pretty cool.
yeah. Anyway, like I said, I was actually the reason why I'm actually doing this live stream is because basically it's a snow day for me, and I won't be. I'll be actually going back to work tomorrow, and then I have to work Monday, and then I'll have Tuesday off because basically my schedule is a little weird because we're supposed to be having another steward on, and you know, kind of freaking messing up with my schedule because it's supposed to be three of us.
Anyway, anyway, I'm gonna say 12 years at most for J.K. Rowling since she probably needed a year or two for the first book at least. But my point is, she at least didn't go past 15 years for how long it took for all the books to be published. Martin, you're over 20 years. I
Wow.
really hope he has where he wants the story to go outline in case he keels over. Because
Yeah,
it's already a shame for High School of the Dead. It would really suck if Game of Thrones couldn't be finished.
yeah. I mean, basically, rest in peace, Daisuke Sato. That's why I actually pretty much got the freaking High School of the Dead anime series, and I also got the mangas as well, along with the colored version of the mangas. Because
Also, I saw an interview where someone asked Martin what he thought of people writing fanfiction, doing fan art and stuff of Game of Thrones, and he says, "Well, I did fan fictions about comics when back in the '70s and stuff, but I wrote original stuff with original characters." I'm like, Martin, I don't think you know what fan fiction is if you didn't use existing characters from existing fandoms.
exactly.
I love you, Martin, but I think you don't get what a fan fiction is.
Hey,
Dio's
Dio.
here.
Hey, Dio.
A. No, Mr. A. I was expecting you to do the thing on Monday. I didn't. As soon as I turned on my cell phone and looked at Twitter, I found out this link. Again, it was kind of.
Yeah, but it's snowing where Mr. A is, so that's why he's doing one today.
Hey,
I'm
Yeah, yeah.
back.
hey, Joker.
Yeah, back.
Bad
Yeah,
snowstorms allow you to stay home most times.
Remember when you were in school and it was snow day or whatever?
Yep.
yeah,
No, I don't, because the closest I got was hurricanes, and then you had to hope you weren't blown off to Oz.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true. So what's today's conversation, boys and girls?
Well,
It's just a snow day today.
Just a snow day. It's like open chat. Talk whatever
I
you
Ah,
talked
want.
about how
Well, it's the final
idiots.
stream of the month, so
I talked about how idiots, because Nifty and Hasbin Hotel is short, equate her to a child. But as Vivzy Pop has put it, your appearance in hell either relates to what your sin is, or how you died.
interesting.
Like Angel Dust being a spider makes sense if you take into account that drugs can be kind of like a venom. It can hurt you, kill you, and stuff. And as we hear from the music video for Angel Dust, addicted, he overdosed.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, oh, by the way, Gigi, you did see the video I sent you yesterday on your Discord, didn't you?
Yeah, but I have a short-term memory on things,
Wait, you
so
have a Discord?
yeah, but it's for like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Oh, cool. Can I join?
Only cool
I'll
kids can join. I'm just joshing. I just wanted to say that.
I'll send you something later, Shadow. But
Thanks.
you're gonna have to get an account on D&D Beyond and make a character if you want to be in my campaign I'm currently doing.
Okay. Just
Although if Nova doesn't end up joining, you could always take the character that I pre-made for him if you learn about what paladins do and stuff.
They stand for justice.
That's the stereotype. Of course, there's also oath breakers if you don't want to follow the goody two shoes route.
Yeah, true.
is there an
Interesting.
anti-hero rule?
Um, Look,
I,
I just suggest that if you're willing to take the pre-made character I made after you make an account on D&D Beyond, that you do some research on paladins so you have somewhat of an idea of how they work.
Okay.
The- Also, for the love of God, if you do a paladin, please do not be the lawful stupid paladin who goes out of his way to bring truth and justice to the world. Well, it's like, no, we need to retreat, or no, we don't really need to handle this situation.
Oh,
It's
I heard a horror story because I follow a couple YouTubers who read out D&D horror stories
like
about
Crit
this
Crab.
guy about this guy who played a paladin and got himself and the party killed by orcs because he refused to accept that maybe the DM saying as NPCs like town guards and stuff are like, "Hey, could you stay and help us?" as a way to, not get the whole party killed by fucking orcs.
Oh wait, was it the guy that's was the paladin was like, I never back down from a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that story too. It's like, oh god. And then,
Okay.
oh, didn't he have the audacity to complain after they died?
That was
Yeah,
way too hard and it's like, gee, it's almost as if the DM kept giving you hints that maybe you should stay in town and fight with the townspeople.
Hmm.
Where there's like 5 orcs and the townspeople are like 1,000.
Yeah. And one thing to throw out there, with the character that I got for our D&D session, like they are wanting to get stronger because again they want to prove themselves to the chief to get the daughter in marriage and everything. But I do want to just out there like perhaps have a way to kind of talk to for Abigail to talk to Gina about we should retreat because we can still get stronger or something along those lines.
Look, look. If I have a thing where no one is gonna be able to make it without some training, Adelaide is gonna be the first one to be like, "We cannot do this. We need to back out for now." And then anyone who wants to be stupid and stay can lose their character and then have to make a new one.
Yeah. What I'm probably gonna do in that case, since again I was thinking of also giving the character the big sister trope is like if Abigail says let's retreat, then my Goliath Gina will like grab everyone and hold ass since she isn't a natural born athlete due to her race, and that way no one will get left behind.
Yeah, I'm sorry about your last character, Dio, but
Oh, it's completely fine. Like to be totally honest with you, I really did want to go with a BBW character, and I don't know why I didn't from the get go. I did kind of feel bad asking if I could make a new one, because well, I don't know. I always kind of I feel bad when I have to ask you the DM for like can I change a thing or something because you
look,
put so
as long as you don't make a habit of it, I don't mind you making a new character
uh,
cuz I cuz I've had characters that after a while I'm like, "Okay, I'm ready to retire this one and do a different character."
yeah, but I mean, also, how do you like Gina so far?
She's pretty cool.
Thanks. I did kind of sort of base her off of my succubus character that I'm making for my comic. The only
Uh,
difference is, with the succubus, it's she's in love with an angel, and well, there's like a whole thing there. But with this, it's more D&D version of her in love with the chief's daughter, and she has to prove herself worthy to, you know,
I can't believe I'm gonna
Alright,
do this. All right.
alright, alright.
anyway, have you seen
And they're
Louisa
still
yet,
going.
Dio?
wait, what?
Have you seen Louisa yet, Dio, from
No, not
Encanto?
no, not yet. I mean, I've seen pictures of her and stuff, but I have not seen the actual movie. I
Yeah,
do
but
need
you
to.
see what I'm saying when it's like you can make a muscular character but not make her look hideous.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, and again, it's like what I was bringing up. I think yesterday or day before yesterday when we were talking about the whole muscle bound characters. It's like you can have a female with muscle, but the issue is when they look like a man instead of a woman. Like Louise is the great example of
Take the
a
blocky approach from Fire
muscle
Force.
character.
Oh yeah, you want to know
From Fire
something
Force, the
funny?
girl from Dororo. How do you
Wait,
pronounce it?
what?
Yeah, for
They
those type of
didn't
muscle
make enough
characters.
dolls for Louisa because they didn't think little girls were gonna want a Louisa doll. So they made plenty of Mirabelle and plenty of Isabella and Dolores, but Disney's getting complaints from parents saying my daughter wants a Louisa doll, but your thing says you're sold out.
I
And it's like,
absolutely love
oh
that.
my god, Disney.
I absolutely love that. Because again, it hammers in the fact that muscle women like Louise are loved and people do want this.
Oh
They have
yes.
this stigma that girls only want the cutesy, adorable, pretty, lovely, character and not the totally cool, big sis vibe character.
I mean, I don't mind muscular women. I just don't like it to where they look like men in drag. I mean, can we look at Mirko from My Hero Academia?
Bruce.
Oh,
Yeah,
best
Muscular,
girl
but
right
still
there, dude.
fucking attractive.
Hold on a sec.
Freaking
yeah.
best girl, if you ask me. Also, I want to change the subject here, and freaking Silent Joker 45's avatar actually kind of gave me the idea for this. How many of you remember the freaking the Italian Senate actually having that 30-second hentai clip of freaking Tifa from
Oh,
Final
yeah.
Fantasy
That was
VII?
funny.
Oh, that was golden. But at the
All
same,
I know is the
What?
wokies are gonna throw a fit and claim this is why we need to police anime and stuff.
I guarantee you, if it was, Man Bear Pig from The Last of Us 2 getting pegged in the ass, they would be like, this was a good thing. I'm glad that it happened.
What happened?
No,
Okay.
there is no way outside of that video game because Neil Fuckman refuses to accept that no one liked his sequel, mainly because it basically destroyed the thing we loved from the first, which was the father-daughter dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this is beautiful. We hardly ever get good father characters or father figure characters in fiction, and you ruined it. That's what pissed
Oh,
me off about the Silent Hill movie. I'll admit it was a fun watch, but it pissed me off that
Wait.
they changed Terry Mason into Rose because the guy directing the movie was like, well, his behavior is that of a woman. And I'm like, so you're saying fathers can't love their children?
Hey,
Wow, asshole. Wow.
can anyone explain the whole Italian thing real quick?
Okay.
Also, I have two things to say, but this is the first one.
Okay. Basically, what happened was there was actually an Italian Senate
hey,
freaking
I'm gonna
meme
be
going
right
on.
back, alright?
Okay. All right. So what happened was apparently, freaking there was like this Italian Senate meeting happening on a Zoom call for Facebook, of course.
Okay.
What happened was like one of the guests actually was freaking about to speak, but it turns out they actually somehow pulled up a freaking 30-second video of Tifa Lockhart actually, having sex apparently.
Ah, ah, ah.
Oh.
And
Wow, that. I mean, that's dumb. Also, hey, Ruby King.
hey, just be thankful it's not either like China or Russia.
Oh,
Basically,
that's true.
it would freaking lose their shit.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
know. Italy lost their rights to see Sailor Moon legally for many years because some asshole decided to say, supposedly he was a psychologist or something, but he decided to say that Sailor Moon causes little boys to be gay. And Nyako's like, fuck you, bitch. You lose your rights to Sailor Moon now.
Okay, so another thing. So I made a account on D&D Beyond. What do I do now? Create my own DDD character or build? What do I do now?
If you've made an account, you can either make your own character or you can give me a list of things you'd want and I can make you a character that you can choose from when I send you the link for the campaign.
Okay.
But if you do want me to make you a character, I need you to tell me, and if you have a picture you'd like for the avatar, I need you to send me the picture so I can put it for the avatar, okay?
All right. I guess I'll
Oh,
share it on Discord, but I guess I'll just wait. Wait? Which one do I click though?
Well, just give me a second and I'll link you to my Discord. I'll send you an invite to my Discord.
Okay.
also, Ruby King says we honestly should start a meme war with other countries.
Start
Oh,
a
God.
nuclear war.
That would honestly be scary. Scary. Very scary. If we're just talking about memes, then it'll probably be fine, but personally, I'm just a little scared if this actually happens.
Okay, I sent you a link to my Discord, Shadow. It's a limited thing, so you might want to join
Okay, I
now.
just joined.
Okay.
Basically, freaking, if you're actually gonna create memes and send it around the world just so you can actually troll the countries, I'm all for it. I mean, basically, it's actually not the loss of life, but it just goes to show that you can actually rile someone up. But
Oh,
it's all fun.
Shadow, I'm gonna send you a list of rules for when we do Dungeons and Dragons and stuff, just so you're aware. But like example, I don't mind players' characters having a romance as long as both players agree to it. If one party says no, then you don't force it, okay?
Apparently, I think he's still trying to get set up for it, and well, that's actually pretty sad. According to the Allinator, he says, I remember Laura Bailey, who's married to Travis Willingham, who played Abby. She gets death threats, and the creator did nothing about it.
Okay, look, I don't like Abby, but I'm not gonna go after the voice actress.
And she said, she personally hates, playing Abby as well. But yeah, fucking sending death threats to someone, that is just freaking low, if you ask me. Absolutely low. In fact, if there's a character you don't like, you don't have to like them, but you shouldn't actually, freaking send death threats or anything like that to anyone who actually pretty much goes and, freaking,
I mean,
it's just,
I mean, that's like going after Wendy Powell because she voiced Envy, who shot May Hughes. That is a stupid reason to go after someone because they voiced a character you're upset with.
Also, Ruby King says Abby is just a really bad character. I mean,
well, I wouldn't mind Abby if she didn't basically kill the two characters I liked from the first game.
Exactly. But,
Neil Fuckman doesn't seem to realize that the reason people hate Abby is because she basically destroyed the two people we were excited to see return.
yeah. Especially Joel, because, freaking, God forbid, men are
we
evil.
have a good father figure. Instead of being an oafish idiot or a jackass. I mean, heaven forbid you have a positive black father figure because everyone wants him to be the asshole that goes out for a pack of cigarettes and never returns.
Yeah, that does not work that way. Basically, I mean, Joel lost his daughter in the first game, and then he actually kind of becomes like an apparent father figure to Ellie, and kind of actually teaches her right from wrong, and then but
yeah,
in this,
yeah, and you can't really blame him for being like, fuck this,
Honestly,
I don't want her to basically have to die just to create something.
Yeah, honestly.
And it's like, why aren't you studying her blood? I mean, I'd be studying blood, skin samples, everything to figure out how she's able to have the fungus on her brain and not turn into one of those freaks of nature. I would not be slicing her head open so I can take her brain to make a vaccine. I'd be like, okay, we need tissue sample. We need to figure out what it is about her that allows her to be infected but not turn.
As much as I'm not much of a fan of The Last of Us Part 1, I feel like that game should have been a standalone title. It was better off that way.
Hold on, guys. We got another guest. It's Joker again. Hold on.
Hey, Joker.
Yeah, the screen went black. Like one of the cables got loose, so I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Oh.
So I thought the system shut down for a second, but no, it didn't.
But yeah, personally, I'm way more of a fan of games like Jack and Daxter, Uncharted, Classic Crash, etc.
Yeah, same. All the
Yeah,
classics.
yeah.
You know,
Can we
Sly
point out
Cooper,
that the last
Spyro, the OGs, Tony
Hey Taylor,
Hawk.
what's up?
So yeah,
can we point out the last game they had for Jack and Daxter? That was the stupidest game I ever saw.
you mean Lost
Especially
Frontier?
especially Dark Daxter. I'm like, technically his Otto form is his dark form.
Yeah, it was kind of alright, but it's like it could have been way better.
And then he had a Brooklyn accent and stuff. And I'm like, yeesh, no wonder Jack never talked when he was in his dark form.
To be
Can you imagine a Brooklyn sounding Jack?
Yeah, it was weird, very weird decision making. Why they did that?
I mean, if it's between this and a Neil Cuckman version of Jack and Daxter, I picked the first
Don't
one.
tempt fate!
Well, remember originally the whole on The Last of Us was prototype that we're trying to emulate a more realistic art style for the series. I mean, you can see the concept art for that realistic art style, which I'll give them it to the artists down there. It looked pretty badass, but they soon realized that yeah, this setting with these characters with the infected weren't gonna really work out. So that's why they created The Last of Us. Like it's a cool concept, but
Don't tempt
it's
fate.
interesting.
Why, Shadow? Why?
It's not gonna be Neil. Like he's too busy with other stuff. It's probably like a different director.
Yeah, Neil, Jack and Daxter is probably dead already. They probably won't do that.
They probably moved on. They want that Hollywood cinema style experience at Naughty Dog.
Worst
That's
case scenario, they do that to Uncharted and kill off Nathan Drake.
Well, I already saw an ad for a movie of Uncharted.
that's the prequel stuff. So it's like it's not what we wanted, like Nathan Fillion, but it's like at least we got the Nathan Fillion fan project. I
Personally,
mean, I do like Tom Holland's an actor; he's very talented. But it's like,
honestly,
it's too
my
generic. That's the problem. It's too generic.
if I
Yeah,
had to
they
pick
actually
a
have freaking Mark Wahlberg as freaking Sully.
I mean,
if
for a young, solid, good choice, but it's like
hey
Mark Wahlberg.
guys,
Yeah.
Respect the actor, but not
Yeah,
my
Shadow?
choice.
I wouldn't pick either of them as Nathan Drake. Personally, I would choose Chris Pratt. Not because he's playing everyone else, but I think it would be a pretty decent Nathan Drake.
I think
Just give
I
him
do
like
believe
brown
that.
hair, and he would look like a real life version of Nathan Drake. Just
Yeah.
He
saying.
does have the charisma. He does have the comedic timing, and like, yeah, Chris Pratt would be a very good choice.
Well, someone on Tumblr actually said, they'll probably do this thing where we have the Mario voice we hear from the games, and then Mario will be like, I'm sorry, in Chris Pratt's voice. And I'm like, you tempted fate. If this happens, I blame you.
God, yeah. Just actually let things just be as they are.
It's like,
It's just ridiculous. But in all seriousness, this is why we actually just want to actually just be entertained. We don't want to be preached to. Like, for instance,
probably an
another
entertaining movie,
example
but
that
just
I
a
want to
cliche
bring up.
movie.
Another example I want to bring up is Frost from freaking G4 TV. Look, G4 is already dead to me. It died for me a long time ago when it just went off the air from cable TV and it no longer exists. But of course, both Adam Sessler and all those other teams, they're actually freaking trying to ruin video gaming for us, all for the sake of actually saying sexism in gaming needs to actually be freaking called out.
What sexism?
No, did you miss all the news about this, Dee Dee?
Well, the last time I heard quote unquote sexism in video games, Anita Saskankian basically broke her own rules because she said, I'm not going to talk about spin off games when I talk about video games, and then proceeds to talk about Super Princess Peach, which was a spin off game to Mario Brothers.
Did you miss
Yeah,
the news about the G4 stuff? That was some good
And then
news.
says, and you can see the stereotype because she uses her emotions to power up. as opposed to Mario just eating a flower and being able to fire fireballs. Yes, clearly this is a land of reality, and this is just silly that Peach would use her emotions as powers.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. But in all seriousness, if you actually want a little bit of a
Small recap: they had a live stream when they came back, but someone took it way too far.
yeah, in
They got
fact,
called out big time.
yeah, and she just actually had to go on.
Okay, Didi, I send you my dream D&D character since you told me to send a picture of what I want to look like.
Okay, so what do you want to be, a Oathbreaker Paladin or?
Depends which one has the sword.
They all have swords. It just means it. The Oathbreaker is just someone who refuses to follow their king or whatever. Kind of like Rurouni Kenshin.
I guess I'll do Paladin.
Well, I mean, I suppose you could also be a fighter, but fighters tend to use like great axes and stuff instead of swords.
Yeah, and also another thing, going back to the whole Frost situation, she was actually talking about freaking Red Dead Redemption Online, and like seriously, if you're actually
That's the
just
online part. That's the online part, not the
Oh god, are
actual.
we talking about this crap of guys harassing women or something? Because I play Nintendo games online and I've yet to meet someone who's like, "Hey, you got a vagina, you can't play." I've yet to have to deal with that. Hell, I've had people when they see me kicking someone's ass in Pokemon ask me to be on their team when it comes to devil battles.
Dio's back. Anyway, you're actually
Hey,
saying Lord
Dio.
Batteru.
I just don't understand. Is my voice deep enough or something that people mistake me for a guy? Because I've never had
A
someone
little bit
tell me
deep.
that I can't play video games because I'm a girl.
And your voice is a little deep. I know a few other
Hmm.
girls in my class with a little deeper voice, but not that deep.
I mean, you
Besides,
still sound like a female.
yeah, in fact, this is why we actually respect you because basically you're you, and we want you to actually just be yourself. That's all. In fact, we actually respect each other. I respect you. You respect me. We actually earn each other's respect. This is what we do. We're actually we're actually not being respectful to one another. We're just actually sharing our opinions about what we like and what we don't like.
Hell, hell, it was for a while when me and my brother were kids. So we'd be behind a couple consoles when it came to things like Nintendo and stuff. But like the old school
Look,
Nintendo,
guys, I'm gonna be right back.
All
okay,
right.
like
Nerd,
the
nerd.
old school Nintendo, the one where you had to blow on the cartridges in order to get them to work. Nintendo,
Yeah.
Nintendo, we would do two-player mode with the Mario Brothers game. Hell, my brother applauded me when I
Ah,
did well at
sweet.
Duck
I got a
Hunt.
new baby. Sweet. Another baby cousin has been born.
And my brother is 4 years older than me, so imagine 3-year-old me with the gun being able to take out ducks. And my brother was never like, "Hey, no, you cheated somehow because you're a girl and you shouldn't be good at this." My brother was basically like, "Ooh, very nice."
What makes it even more funny is, like I said before, when it comes to that whole guys not wanting girls to join in on video games or whatever, the only time you will ever see that is if it's in a movie from the 90s and 80s where there's a boy that will say, "Boys rule, girls rule, neener, neener, neener." That's the only time. In real life,
But
that
the
never
cliche of the
happened.
time, but it was a funny cliche. Oh man,
Yeah.
Monster Squad, that was perfect with that cliche.
Well, I mean, like example, what would you do with John Quinones did a thing where they had two male teen actors harass a female teen actor in a game store saying girls can't play video games. You buying this for your boyfriend and stuff? And I'm like, even if I didn't know this was what would you do if I saw this, I'd be like, this gotta be punk or something, because this is too outlandish.
Exactly. It sounds too cartoonish. No real person. And now, although someone out there, yeah, there's a slim 1% chance that there are guys out there that will say girls can't play games. They should play teacups and ponies or what, some bullshit like that. But
Yeah,
guess
well,
what?
there are women who think guys shouldn't be able to cook for themselves, and it's like,
Yeah, yes,
why? Are you scared that if the guy can take care of himself, he won't need your ugly ass?
I see, there you go. I mean, the again, it's that 1%. It's a slim to none chance that you will come across some guy that would be like, yeah, girls, they can't play games, they can't, do anime or anything like. No, you only see that in these people's delusions and in a 1980s or 90s movie.
Also, Ruby King actually brings up a good point. He says, let's remember not to take G4 seriously anymore. Frost reveals that they don't even play video games. It's
Yeah,
like,
Okay, the minute you say you don't even play video games, I'm not going to take your words seriously, because it's like, I can't trust you. I mean, my God, I'm still getting up to date on JoJo, but I wouldn't be, when I wasn't watching JoJo. JoJo's daughter is what finally got me to check out JoJo. But
Jolene.
before then, I wouldn't be like, well, actually, I mean, I don't watch JoJo, but you should listen to my word because I think I know better. No, I didn't say anything because I had no fucking idea about JoJo, and I wasn't gonna make a fucking fool of myself.
and besides, like we usually say, dude. Basically, you have
Nice.
every you actually have every right to actually choose what you want to watch, or freaking if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. No one's forcing you to watch something you don't want to watch. That's your
and also
decision.
just throwing out there. And just throwing out there, G4 is supposed to be about video games and talking about games, and yet here you are saying you don't even play the game. It's like, what are you doing? What is your job title then? Like,
Oh, someone
that would be
actually
like,
found a video clip of Anita Sarskankian. And I know that's not her last name before anyone complains. I don't care. She doesn't get my respect. But there's a clip of her actually admitting, I don't play video games. I'm like, you fucking whore.
Yeah, even
like,
Thunderfoot
You
has exposed her
fucking
several times
whore.
before that she doesn't
Don't
play the
that
speak
games.
for me or
Like she's
my
using
girls
clips from
ever
other
again, you
gamers.
fucking whore.
that would be like a shelf, saying, I don't
I'm on a
actually,
stream,
cook the
Dad.
food.
Oh, one at a time, one at a time.
Sorry, my dad asked who I'm talking to. I'm like,
Oh,
not that it's any of your business, but I'm on a stream.
ah. But yeah,
Less than a month from Elden Ring.
like what I was saying though, like that would be like a shelf, saying, "Oh, I don't really cook." Then why are you a shelf? What's the point of your job title if you don't do the thing your job title
I
demands?
mean, this
I
is
mean,
what
this is like
pissed
one
me
of those
off
kids
about
that
Howard
always keeps saying
Stern.
that, oh yeah, I can play the guitar, like I'm like a master guitar player. Then all of a sudden in school, there's a talent competition. Everyone signs up this kid who keeps bragging about like I can play the guitar really well. I can play all these classic 80s and 90s
Hey,
songs.
guys are
And
back.
yet
What
when
did
it's
I
his turn,
miss?
he's like, oh crap, I can't play the guitar. So you shot yourself in the foot.
Exactly. It's like, what was your point? What were you trying to
Trying to
do?
say,
Because
Hey, guys, what did I miss?
a lot of stuff.
G4 talk and a few other things.
Man,
But yeah,
I
but it's
wish
like,
I. Go ahead.
but yeah, it's like, what is the point of your title if you're not going to do it? Again, G4, you are a gaming channel. You're supposed to know games, play games, etc. If you sit there and say, "Oh, I don't play games," then get a new career choice.
Man,
Yeah, and
I wish I grew up with G-Force. I never knew them when I was like.
It used to be funny back in the day, but now they're like
oh,
shell.
Yeah, G4 used to be good. G4 used to be a thing that we gamers look forward to, just like we anime fans look forward to Anime Con and stuff like that. But
Yeah, Jeff
sadly,
Keighley used to be on G4 as well. So
yeah,
I think I
but
was just like too young to know about them.
oh
but
man, if you actually freaking would have watched freaking G4 back in the day, you would have actually loved Attack of the Show because it actually has like freaking Kevin Pereira and Olivia Munn, but she of course Frost actually had to freaking go and actually freaking knock down Morgan
destroy the
Webb
company
and
over
freaking
one
Olivia
night.
Munn of all things because basically they knew what they were doing. They actually knew about video games and stuff like that. They actually had freaking they actually had, all these beautiful women like, Kristen Holt. They actually had Olivia Munn. They had freaking Morgan Webb. But yeah, you got somebody like Frost actually saying that, oh, I'm not as bangable as they are. But, she's actually just trying to be like, the totally crazed out feminist that she is.
Well,
yeah,
well, this is what pissed me off with Howard Stern when My Little Pony Generation 4 first became big among adults as well as kids. They only talked to 3 people and they all just assumed it was a bunch of guys who like to fap to female pony pictures. I'm like, thank you for, doing your research and finding out that women like me also like the show, and not everyone is into fapping to a picture of Twilight, you fucking asshole. I swear to God, you need a good punch in the nose because you never do fucking research and you act like you're so funny and smart and stuff when you can't even do the basic research. Google is a thing, people! It's not hard to use!
and one thing I do want to throw out there too is what a lot of these talk show hosts and stuff like that always focus on is the
Yeah,
negative thing. Like again, kind of going back to the whole furry thing. Fun fact: when I did, I guess you could say research because I was bored, but the whole yipping thing or furries, or horny all the time. No, that's only a 10%. Just like with the whole MLP clopping thing. That that's the ones that we don't talk about.
Also,
That's our own version of we don't talk about Bruno.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, Ruby King actually brings up another good point. He says, "Don't forget Sarah Jean Underwood, who was a Playboy model. She was on G4."
Yes. And also one thing I do want to throw out there too before I forget. Didi, you were bringing up good fathers and stuff, and when I was watching that video that I sent you on Encanto, there's a good father in that, and it's great to see because
Oh yeah, oh yeah, Felix and Augustine. They're good fathers, especially Augustine, because he basically says to Alma, the grandma, "Fuck this stupidity about the house. I was thinking of my daughter. Someone I can't replace like I can a fucking house."
yeah, there you go. And again, it's great to see that because especially in modern television, it's so annoying to see the whole dumb dad joke. Meanwhile, the female, the mom, is like she's put on this divine pedestal of she can't do
yeah.
no wrong.
Oh god damn it! I freaking hate that shit. It's just like
Oh
seriously.
yeah, mom always knows more than the dad. I mean,
E-
the original Roseanne series before Roseanne Barr fell off her rocker, we basically had Roseanne and Dan as a team. Sometimes Dan was right, sometimes Roseanne was right. It was never this thing of Roseanne was always fucking right.
and that's good because I'll be honest with you. When I was watching, we're not watching, but what sometimes I see on Facebook is those stupid memes where it goes, "There's two people in a relationship, the one who's right and the husband."
Okay, well, what happens with a lesbian couple? Because someone has to be the husband in that relationship. So
Yeah,
who's the
yeah, see,
husband in that relationship? Ha 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 ha.
yeah. See, there you go. Like, if it's a lesbian relationship, then who's right?
All right. Well, take care there, Ruby King, and fierce apathetic Black Queen. Hopefully, I'll actually see. I'll see you on the Airstream as soon as I'm done here. So, but I'm sticking around for about another hour or so.
Ah, nice. But
Nice.
yeah, it's again the whole because if I'm not mistaken, I was watching Crimson Sin. He does cartoon reviews and stuff, and he was reviewing what was it called? The Michaels versus the Machines or something. The one with the ugly dog, the pug.
Huh. I
And I
don't
think
think I've actually seen that one,
I
but
think it was Mitchell's or Michael's versus the Machines. But anyway, the dad is your typical dumb dad, and the mom is like this, great, awesome, amazing. She has a vagina, so of course she's, the best.
yeah.
Well, I mean,
Hang
this
on.
is why I love games
Back.
like the first Silent Hill game, the first the first of The Last of Us, and it's because positive father figures. Because I love my father. My father did everything he could to take care of me and my siblings. My father lives with me now and helps me save money where I can by buying groceries now and then when he gets his social security check. And he doesn't have to do that for me because that's his money, but he does it because he knows I'm on disability and I only get so much money, which a lot of it has to go towards bills.
Yeah,
But evidently people just refuse to accept that, maybe there are men who aren't pieces of shit and actually take care of their children. I know, hard to believe, but it happens.
and
Hell,
mine
my uncles my uncles helped raise me as well. Well, because my dad is a retired mechanic, but he was a mechanic, so he wasn't going to be able to, make enough money to be able to buy expensive stuff for Christmas on his own. So my uncles and my aunts would help my parents get me and my siblings stuff for Christmas.
And mind you, these people who always say fathers and dads, yeah, are bad people. They'll always treat the woman, the women, as if they are saints and just perfect angels who do no wrong. When no, they're all absolutely disgusting mothers out there.
I'm
But
I'm tired I'm tired of people being like, well, this isn't realistic for a father to actually love their child. Again, I liked watching the Silent Hill film, but I was annoyed that the director was like, well, this is something a woman would do. So we decided to make Harry Mason Rose Mason instead. And it's like, you took one of the few positive examples in fiction of a good father.
And one thing I do want to throw out there too, with the whole father thing, is I still remember seeing some idiot post a tweet about how what is more appealing. I think they used that word. What is more appealing to see, a woman being motherly or a big burly man with a beard and insert your typical testosterone driven man
A
holding a
mother
baby.
being motherly. That's
Someone
what
being
I choose.
motherly.
Are
Especially
you
if she's a
fucking
hot
kidding
milf.
me?
Yeah, they had an issue with a man being a father, being holding his daughter in his arms, being there for her and stuff, because it's not, according to them, it's not masculine, right? But I guarantee you, they would support the father if the daughter was 16 years old and going, "I'm gonna shoot the first guy she sends my way."
That brings up the whole lesbian thing again. What happens if your daughter says she's a lesbian?
I
Are you
get
still gonna stick
exactly.
to that promise, or are you gonna be
Hey,
like,
Hunataku.
well, she can't get pregnant with another girl, so I'm okay with this, provided they're not homophobic assholes.
Well, yeah, I mean, there you go. But again, it's just why the hell they talk about wanting to destroy the whole gender, barrier and all that crap, and yet whenever a male shows affection or even emotion, for whatever reason, it's a weakness, it's disgusting, it's let's laugh at this guy for crying or whatever.
Point and laugh,
Why
but
do
he
they
is
do
more
that?
masculine. Ha 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 ha.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
freaking.
I still remember, when Will Smith's wife cheated on him.
Yeah, she
Everyone,
did Will dirty. Will
yeah,
is one of the nicest guys you could meet. I mean, he basically helped his son start a company for water that wouldn't affect the environment, and people laughed at him about it. And it's like he's supporting his son.
Wait, Will Smith suffered the same fate Johnny Depp had?
what?
Oh
No.
no, Jada
No, no,
Pinkett
no, no,
Smith
no.
didn't beat the shit out of him, though I would be even more pissed if she did. But she ran after a boy that was young enough to be her son practically, and cheated on Will Smith. And I'm like, yeah, you enjoy it while you can, Jada, because he's eventually going to realize, why the fuck do I want to be with a saggy old bitch when I can have a young thing? And then I hope Will is like, fuck you, you broke my heart, you don't get to come back.
And again, the media was making fun of Will for crying,
Oh,
rather
but I guarantee if Will had been the one cheating and Jada was fucking crying, everyone would be like, he is a piece of shit. He needs to be
exactly.
shot, hanged, burned.
So either way, he gets made fun of? That's
Yeah,
Yes.
messed up.
yeah, because again, it's the male for whatever reason who has to, suffer. It's a double standard. If a woman does it, it's either A, oh, you poor thing, they're there, or B, oh, it's not your fault, milady. It's definitely the
Oh,
man's
yeah.
fault.
I can't stand people who defend cheaters like, oh, well, obviously, he did something for you to go to the arms of another man. And I'm like, okay, Will is not, she's even admitted he's not an abusive bastard. So why the fuck did she go after someone who's basically young enough to be her child?
One thing I also want to throw out there
It's
too,
just
by the
yeah.
way.
Oh god, don't even get me started on that. But anyway, guys, I'll be right back. I gotta pee real quick.
I. Well, now one thing I also want to throw out there too, by the way, is it's absolutely annoying that we have this double standard of the woman. Okay, first off, women themselves, not women, but women, always say that it's hard to be a woman because of blah 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 blah, and yet it's more harder to be a damn man because whatever a woman does, she'll be forgiven by every loser, every simp. But if a man does that same exact thing, they want blood. Like, how dare you, you're a monster, etc., etc.
Oh, how about we bring up the fact that if the cops are called and the husband or boyfriend only attacked the wife slash girlfriend because the girlfriend started beating him with a baseball bat or something, they get arrested because she's a woman. You shouldn't hit her. And it's like, she fucking started it by hitting him with a fucking baseball bat.
And not just that, but if she didn't stop it, she would have killed him. So it's like he did what he had to do to not get killed.
And as we see with She Who Must Not Be Named and Johnny Depp, you don't even need proof that the guy abused you. All you have to do, if you're a woman, you got that mighty vagina, it is to say, "Oh well, he slapped me," and everyone's like, "Oh, you monster." We don't bring it into account that, considering we got proof that she was beating on him with audio and stuff, that did he maybe slap her as self defense? Did he accidentally hurt her hand or something trying to close the door because she was fucking trying to rip his eyes out? No, or society specifically is like, well, she's a woman and he's a man. Yeah, she's around my age and Johnny Depp's in his mid 50s. He's not exactly young. So he's not exactly gonna have a. So anyone saying that a woman being able to beat on a man is impossible evidently have not dealt with someone who's getting close to, being an elderly person.
And not just that, but it's society in general has what I like to call simp energy or neckbeard energy. Because again, every time a woman does something wrong, every loser, the cop, the judge, everyone's like, "Milady, it's innocent. Clearly, it was the man who did this to you, milady."
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah,
but
dude,
those
that's
dude,
bastards act like feminazis when it turn on their fucking ass.
like, dude, you're not gonna get the coochie, so stop simping.
Yeah, just because
exactly.
they're fucking ugly doesn't mean they're. If you knew anything about feminazis, they're ugly, yeah, but if you don't look like Brad Pitt or something, they're not going to give you the time of day.
Yeah,
And that's another thing. Feminazis are fucking hypocrites. They expect women to be hideous she beasts in media, but if you suggest that maybe Superman should have a dad bod or something instead of the six pack, they're like, oh, but I don't want to look at a dad bod. I want to look at a six pack. It's like, but you expect women to be fat narwhals. What the fuck?
exactly, exactly. And one other thing too is again the double standard. We go to the whole sexual harassment thing. These women who will sit there and say it's hard to be a woman because blah blah blah, but yet I guarantee you these are the same women who will walk up to a job site like at a construction worker and be like, yeah, shake it, big boy, woohoo, yeah. It's like exactly. Like, wait a minute, what happened to sexual harassment? Where did that go?
Oh,
Right at the damn door. That's where it went.
and that's not even bringing the whole pedophilia thing with school teachers things where if it's a young girl being touched by a man it's like, oh, that's terrible, but when it's a female teacher touching a male a male child, it's like he's the man, woo, and it's like, no, he was assaulted, and this should be treated the same way as we treat young girls being touched by adult men.
You know, it's like one point that I brought up a while or a long ass time ago. When I was having a conversation like this with a buddy of mine, and it's like, okay, so you know the whole babysitter kind of, I guess you could say fantasy, but it's even a trope in media where, you know, the kid is like 10 or 11 years old and he's like, I don't need a babysitter. But then the babysitter comes in and she is smoking hot. It's like, okay, you know what? I do need a babysitter. And
Yeah.
so it's like, oh yeah, that's, funny. It's, like, woohoo, whatever. But if you reverse the gender, if you have that 11-year-old individual being a girl, and this 16-year-old boy comes in and is the babysitter, then it's like, oh my god, you disgusting monsters! This is sick. We need to call the FBI. This movie, this episode, whatever, is just disgusting. Like, wait, where did that energy go? Where did that woohoo energy just go?
It's just ridiculous. Basically, we're just living in a world of double standards. It actually has to be. It's just like freaking. It's like freaking. What do I want to say there? It's like the neuralities argument, where like lolicons are actually considered problematic, whereas shotacons are freaking a okay.
Yeah, no. I'm not saying that we should drool over actual little girls and stuff in fiction. Hence, again, why I am happy that when they did the TV show for Game of Thrones, they bumped up Daenerys's age to a more appropriate age as opposed to having her be 13 like in the books.
Or even like our, or even the Stark children. Like, just remember, they were even younger in the books as well. Like, there's the
And yet
remember, it's reverse as
I
well. It's
know
not
that since it's basically based off medieval times and stuff with a dash
one
of
of the reasons why I love
fantasy
the
here
books.
and there, it's still basically, young children being married off to grown men. I mean, did
It
we
is the
forget
time period,
about
you want the
did we
families to
forget
be
about the
united.
patriarch of the Frey family
Hey,
who had like a
Don't
guys.
forget
15-year-old
the
wife?
Starks.
Hey, guys. I'm gonna be right back. I have to help mom with the groceries.
Yeah, don't
All
Okay,
worry,
right,
Shadow.
Bucky.
we'll be here.
And may the shadows be with you.
I'm not leaving yet.
But my point is, you look at Tyrion. Tyrion, he's
It's supposed
short.
to be shorter in
Are
the
we
books
just
too. It's
gonna
supposed to be
assume he's
shorter.
a little boy because he's short? No, we know he's a little person, and that's why he's short. We know he's basically a grown man.
It's
This
supposed to be short in
Jamar,
the
stupidity that
books.
if a character is short, they must be a child is fucking stupid.
and I just want to know, do these people who sit there and say, short characters in anime or any other fiction as a child, do these people look at little people and go, "Oh, look at the little baby. Where's your
I can
mommy,
assure
little?"
you that at least Peter Dinklage, if no other little person, probably would beat the shit out of you if you did that to him.
I mean, like,
Yeah,
don't forget, like in the books as well, it's actually reversed in the show. Instead of Sansa and Ramsay, it's Arya and Ramsay Bolton. Like, there's a line, like, this is like after the whole training and everything, where she's under the identity of Rose, and I believe she's a bit older in the books at that point in time. Ramsay Bolton says, "This is a creepy ass line in the books, like, do you know how to take care of a man?" And she responds, "It is yes." And then proceeds with, what, the treatment that Sansa got in the show. But it's Arya instead of Sansa. Like, ugh,
Yeah,
it's creepy.
but Ramsey is
Still,
fucked up in
this is
general.
still a bastard. Like, he's still a bastard. Man, that
He
it felt
basically fed
satisfying when he
his
died.
stepmom and half sibling to his hounds.
Yep, still fucked up.
So he's basically not the best example for this argument because he's fucked up all around.
He just
Yeah.
makes Joffrey look like a saint by comparison.
Yeah. And
yeah, and
that's
I
saying
still
something considering the shit Joffrey did.
actually hold that Tyrion Lannister quote to this day as absolute truth. And that is, if you cut out a man's tongue, you're not calling him a liar. You're just proving to the world that you're afraid of what he's actually going to say.
There you go. It's
I
just
do
like,
like the Bolton's
and,
line, Father says, a naked man has secrets, but a flame man holds no secrets.
and what's funny is you can take that line, the whole, if you cut a man's tongue out, it's not because you're technically afraid of what he has to say. We can put that into modern day with the Wokies. They want to cut our tongues out only
Oh, you
because
mean like
we,
getting people who spit truths banned from Twitter and stuff?
they go, yeah,
Exactly.
because we have the truth. We know common sense. I mean, hell, they want to sit there and ban us because we're not playing this game of pretend. Like, oh yes, Bobby, you are a non-binary toothpaste person. Good for them. I mean, whatever the fuck pronoun you want.
Oh
No,
yeah, newest thing for the wokies with Encanto, and I wish they would, because Encanto is one of the few things recently we've got that's actually good, and they keep trying to ruin it by trying to push their agendas. Like, oh, Louisa must be trans or a lesbian because she's buff, and it's like, God damn it, can't someone just be buff and just normal? It doesn't have to equate to lesbianism or trans.
and what's even more annoying is at the video that I sent you, these other clowns who are talking about the shapeshifter
Yeah, that's
character.
what I was about to bring up. because
Yeah,
Camillo has the power to shapeshift. He's gender fluid or he's non-binary, and it's like no, he can just shapeshift, and he's expected to use it to help take care of like babies and stuff. Like if a mom wants a break and she's lucky to catch Camillo, she's like, I need you to shapeshift into me so my baby won't cry like a banshee, so that I can go and get my hair done or something.
yeah. And again, and also like these people, and I like the video that I sent you as well because I believe
Sorry
the
to turn my
person
Wi-Fi off.
themselves, I believe the person themselves are like Hispanic descent, but they're like these people, these individuals who are saying, "Oh, this character is gay, this character is lesbian, this character is blah blah blah." You're taking away the actual message from the movie. You're taking away from the characters to basically say pretend. It's just like we can jump back to Luca. It wasn't about gay. It wasn't gay whatsoever. It was just two guys, two kids were male, going on this little silly adventure together
And
as
you
friends.
and you think people would realize it's about friendship and stuff, because notice that they didn't have Luca at the end of the film be like, okay, female character that's become our friend as well, let's date since we're now going to school together.
Yeah, and again, it's just these idiots are so hungry, so desperate for representation, they will take any scraps. Hell, it's like I said before, these clowns would take a can of shit so long as you put a rainbow flag on it.
This is why freaking, this is why, freaking, this is why we actually need to speak out at this because, the LGBT is actually just being overrepresented because, of these freaking wokies, trying to represent for them. And here's the
Real queer folks hate wokies because it's like,
Exactly.
yes, we want representation, but we don't want reskinning of characters or characters being forced to be representation.
I mean, me and Didi here are, bisexual, and we both hate fucking the Wokies because, again, they are annoying. I don't want Superman's son to be bisexual. That's tokenism. But hey, Luz is an awesome, amazing character outside of the whole bisexual thing. She has this thing called a personality.
Not every 5 minutes. Oh, I'm bisexual, by the way. Hey, Amity, we can date because I'm bisexual. Did I mention I'm bisexual?
Exactly. It's like we don't need that. We don't want that. Just like going with the Iceman comic. Every single panel, Iceman has to say or remind the audience he is gay. Like, I sure do look cute in my outfit.
yeah, seriously. I mean, basically, we actually just want characters that actually have personality. We want them to actually, stand out and be unique. That's why the Owl House was actually so successful, and freaking why they actually tried canceling it. I find that completely freaking stupid, if you ask me.
Oh, by the way, I already said this before, but I just want to say it again, though. I don't think this will be a controversial opinion, but Encanto is way better than Frozen, and it should have gotten more love than it did.
I,
Oh,
still-
oh,
I
what
still haven't
pisses me
actually had
off
a chance to
is
see Kanto,
what
but
pisses me off is artists, drawing characters from Encanto and then Wokies being like, you did the color palette wrong. And even when Latin folk, not necessarily people from Colombia, are like, hey, this is good. Please don't listen to this idiot. They don't know what they're fucking talking about. These wokey assholes basically bully an artist until they delete either their artwork or their whole account in general. And then when there's backlash against these wokey assholes for fixing someone's drawing, they're like, I don't understand why everyone's so upset. It's like, because you basically defecated on someone's drawing. That's like someone taking the Mona Lisa and pissing on it.
yeah,
Exactly,
that's too stupid. It's
and
it's This is why you don't destroy art. Okay, let artists make whatever the hell they want. Simple as that.
Not just that, but again, these Wokies don't care about the people who they supposedly stand up for. They only care about patting
Shoot.
themselves on the back and
Thank you.
making themselves feel better. They give no shits about representation whatsoever. They just want to make themselves look good. Because if they actually did care about said representation, then we would have original LGBT superheroes. We would have original, black superheroes. The list goes on. But instead, you take Superman, make him into a fat, trans, gay guy who identifies as non-binary toothpaste, and no one likes it. The black community doesn't like it. The trans community doesn't like it. No one likes it. And
Let's not
then,
forget Latinx,
oh
where
yeah,
every Latin person I've met is like, why the fuck did they come up with Latinx? If we,
Don't
it's
ask us.
fine when you know English, but when you try to do it in Spanish, you can't do it because X is kind of like the equivalent of L in the Japanese language.
but the wokies don't care. It's like, I know what's best for you. That's their mindset. I know what is best for you, so let me make myself feel good about myself.
Yeah, in
And,
fact,
and it's
it's
like this.
just kind of stupid if you ask me.
And it's like
But
this. I didn't ask for heroes. I don't want a hero. GD here, I'm pretty sure I can say, didn't ask for a damn hero either.
Yeah.
Look, look, I'm not going to complain if they make a bisexual character for Marvel or DC, but I want an original character, not here's Iceman for the gay folk and here's Superman's son for the bisexual folk. It's like, no, I want my own character. Get your ass back into the art room and draw me an original character.
And not just that, but think of it like this too. It's a hand me down. Nobody likes hand me downs. It's just, here's a Superman that is spray painted black. Here, enjoy. Why would anyone want to play with this? It's basically Superman with spray paint.
I mean, that's what
yeah,
Michael B. Jordan's so great. Like, if we're gonna do a black Superman, there already is a black Superman in the comic books, and that's the
Yeah,
character that he
yeah,
wants to portray.
Superman has an adopted brother from Krypton who happens to be black. Why
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
there
that's
you
you
not
need
the,
to
go.
make
that's the character he's
OG
mentioning.
Superman black when you have his brother that you can focus on? That's
Yeah,
another
you do
thing I
Kelvin.
hate
Kelvin.
because thank thank God for this is the only plus to Disney Plus is that Netflix couldn't do the Blade show after this because Blade is a Marvel product, meaning it belongs to Disney now. But they were gonna make Blade the vampire hunter a Muslim character. And
Kelvin
I'm like,
knows.
but you got a Muslim character. Her name's Dust. She's an X-Man. Why won't you do stuff about her? Hell, she kills two birds with one stone because she's also a fucking woman. And yeah, she's dressed as a stereotypical female Muslim, but she actually points out that she finds the outfit that women are told to wear in like Iraq and stuff empowering to her. She owns it. Why can't we focus on this character? She's one of my favorites. I would love to see a show with her or a movie.
Exactly, there you go. But they don't want to give it to us because that would be a good thing. It's not about representation or anything. It's about them taking a already used character, making them gay, black, trans, or whatever, and just going neener neener neener. Now Superman is gay, or neener neener neener. Now this character that you like so much is something that they themselves, I guarantee you, hate. Because again, you can't tell me that these individuals who sit there and say these orcs are black coded You can sit there and say they ain't a little, racist
Right,
and
Yeah,
stop,
stuff.
stop, stop, stop.
I'm
Let
gonna
me
say
say this as
this
someone who
again.
is. Let me say this as someone who is a Spanish person. I gotta say, fuck all these companies who keep thinking that we know what's best for my people, or even creating characters that are just unoriginal and uninspiring. Because for fuck's sake, how hard is it to create an original character
I
that is the
still
color of
I
my
still
race
giggle at the
and make
Filipino.
them likable, make them something that I want to be inspired to, or inspire other different people? Like for crying out loud, how hard is it? Like, please stop using all the characters that I've grown up in all these classic animation shows and films and just making them weaker. Like, come on, stop, stop,
I
stop.
still
Even the new
giggle at
people, like,
the
I don't like. Like, I
Filipino.
do not like American Chavez. I hate what they're doing with her. And it's like, come on, why is she in Doctor Strange? I have no idea why she's in Doctor Strange. If she was just a cameo, fine. I wouldn't care. But oh, I hope they don't fuck that up.
In Anyway, I still giggle at the Filipino Captain America just because her name, roughly
It's funny.
translated
It's funny.
from Filipino, is ball sack, and I'm like,
That's
yes,
funny.
ball sack, my
Ball
favorite
sack.
version of Captain America.
Ball sack.
I'm
Quick,
gonna be totally honest
quick.
with you.
What's your fans unite? Let's make this funny. The ball sack shield.
You know,
A
Which
shield.
has the ball sack armor. The Filipino Captain America. She has the ball sack shield.
Her shield is a cock and balls.
Oh God. Oh God. Why are you so Ted faint?
Why not? Her name's already ball sack. It's not
Oh
like
God.
they
Ball
can
sack
make her
shield.
worse.
I'm gonna be
Oh
totally
shit.
honest with you.
Just imagine her just throwing that across the battlefield and hitting every single man and woman.
No,
Oh God.
Someone
I'm gonna,
needs to make a parody of that where she has a cock and balls, and every time the shield hits a woman, specifically a wokey woman, they scream, "I've been assaulted by a cock and balls."
you know what's funny
Oh
is,
God.
like, I would own the name Cotton Balls. I would own it.
Oh, no, no. Her name is ball sack in English.
Oh yeah, yeah, but I mean, I would own that name though. Like, behold, the sack of justice.
I mean,
Oh.
I mean, when that was first mentioned, I remember reading a story where a girl said her name's Ariana, but she goes by Ari for short. And she had a couple Filipino friends who would giggle when she said, when she first introduced herself and said, "But you can call me Ari for short." And she said once she found out with the Filipino Captain America, she's like, "Okay, that makes sense now." Because I mean, imagine saying your name's Ariana or Arietta or something, and you say, "But you can call me Ari for short," to someone who's Filipino, and they start giggling, and you're like, "What? What?" And then you find out that Ari is ball sack, and you're like, "You can call me Arietta from now on."
Yeah. But I mean, kind of going back to the whole making unique, different characters and shit like that. It's not hard. Like right now in my comic, I'm not going to spoil too much for it. But the ideas that I'm going with, uh, first of all, there's a shit ton of awesome mythical creatures outside of Greek and Norse mythology and Japanese yokai and shit. Like there is, and you go to Mexico for a moment, alright? There are more creatures outside of fucking chupacabra and that Brazilian. I don't know the name, but it's a Brazilian baby who is in the woods. He cries, and then you, of course, go to it. Like, oh no, poor baby. Let's save
Who
the
left
baby.
Who left their sassy lost child in the woods?
But the baby's actually a demon, and if you pick it up, it will, of course, kill you and eat you. Also, Dee Dee and any other fans of the Owl House out there, fun fact: Ida is, in technicality, based on a Mexican folklore of the Owl Woman, who is a witch that at night transforms into an owl beast, and she, if I'm not mistaken, she eats children.
Huh, I didn't know that. I thought she was based off the Owl Man from the UK.
Nope.
Yeah. Also another Latino folklore that you should actually learn about is La Llorona, the weeping woman.
Or yeah,
Oh yeah.
La Lora, or there's a lot. Or on Netflix right now, they have this great show called Trece, which is all the Filipino lore down there,
There's
based on the
also the
Filipinos comic
Donkey
book.
Lady.
It was a great show, I can't wait for season 2 if they ever do
Yeah,
make one. I want to
I
There's
see
still need
also
more
to
the
sit down and
Donkey
watch
Filipino
that.
Lady.
culture to come over here.
Have
Yeah,
any
still
of
need
it's
y'all
really
heard of the
great. You
Donkey
should really
Lady?
really watch it. It combines like was it the first few issues into one arc, so it's really good.
Yeah,
I mean,
and if
Uh,
you're a kid and you actually see a woman down by the river and she's actually walking around crying, you got to stay
don't
away
go
from her because
near her. I
exactly
wonder
Yeah,
because
what
don't go.
is that
Yeah, I know.
what you
woman
Yeah,
in.
I
do
know about
is
that curse. I know about that curse.
actually, wait, guys, no. If you do see a woman crying near the river, oh, nice guys.
yeah.
I
Why
wonder
don't
if
you?
that.
Whatever you do not go near that woman. Okay,
I wonder.
Unless,
basically,
Uh,
especially if you're a kid, because if you're a kid, she actually you go near her, she'll actually toss you in the river and you get drowned. Because that's why she was cursed to do that because
she
she actually
killed her children because her husband was a piece of shit and left her for another woman.
exactly.
That is the one time you can be mad at a guy because it's like
Hey, I'm back
you
from
you
cleaning
killed your
groceries.
wife and children, and it's already bad enough you left your wife for another woman, but you abandoned your children. It's like,
yeah, you
what
kind of deserve it.
are you gonna do this to the new woman? Guarantee if she's rich, her parents are gonna be happy about you abandoning her for another young woman.
Oh yeah, that's right. Kamala Khan. There's another character who took the Miss Marvel name, who is Muslim. Yeah, Kamala Khan. They keep rebooting that character so often. It's like, who is this
I mean,
character anymore?
I'll be honest with you. Yeah, again, you can make an awesome, cool, unique indie character outside of white or straight, but you gotta do this thing called put effort into it. Kamala Khan could have been a
Could have
pretty
been.
cool character. Now, a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's that whole hand fist thing." I don't know. I mean, in
Not
fairness, you
really.
got
Not really.
I forgot her name in My Hero Academia, but
Ibara, I think.
yeah, the one who
Honestly, she feels
can
more
inflate
like
her
a.
hand.
Oh, guys, one at a time, one at a time.
But yeah, like the woman who can inflate her hands and stuff. Like, I mean, she's a pretty interesting character, and granted, I could understand why it wouldn't be cool in like a live action sense. Someone walking around with giant hands. That would be kind of it would be more silly in live action than it would in a cartoon
Even with
comic.
CG.
I mean,
Yeah.
they did try it for
I mean,
Marvel's Avengers, but it's like it was kind of there, but they just did not execute Kamala properly. Like, you just met the God of Thunder, and now your entire religion is blown out the window, and yet you're fangirling.
honestly,
Okay, but you
Kamala.
just met the God of Thunder. Come on.
Honestly, Kamala Khan just feels like the divorced love child of Mr. Fantastic and Captain Marvel after she became Miss Marvel.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you could have an interesting character if you're going to go with a character that deals with fist-based things. Then why not have it be something where, like she has ice fist or something along those lines. I mean, I can't really think of something unique because there's like a whole lot of
Pop.
other.
You
Like,
know,
you
like
got
something.
One Punch Man, you got Fist of the North Star, you got Pokemon moves like Fire Fist, Thunder Fist, Ice Fist. So it's kind of hard to come up with a character.
Got the monk style from Final Fantasy so series as well. Got
Yeah,
everyone's favorite waifu, Tifa, of course. You got
yeah.
JoJo with all the stands, so it's like it's
Oh
it's like
yeah.
what can you do? Like, what can you do after that when everything's been done before? Like, you can
I
definitely
mean,
do it, but it's got to be something unique, interesting, or something that brings life to something that was old.
and also, just throwing it out there, like, I'm absolutely glad that I looked up all these mythical creatures because first of all, my MC is going to be based on a yokai, and like there's also going to be, of course, the succubus, as I already told you guys.
You're going
But
to include banshees, right?
yeah, the Banshee is also going to be a character, but the main cast is going to be six, and I already got one Jamaican folklore. It's going to be a vampire, but the difference with this vampire is she
So
combusts
is
into
it
flames.
is it humanoid mythological creatures, or can we include kelpies too?
Well, in my world, it's only creatures of the afterlife, such as zombies, skeletons, vampires, demons, angels, and gods of death. In other words, the Shinigami and Hades are real, but Zeus and
So
Thor.
basically, just monster girls.
Well, no, it has to be creatures of the afterlife.
Yeah, Monster Girls doesn't really work if you're not including things like centaurs and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, in fact, basically, it's sort of like Mori Calliope or like Courage Ollie.
yeah, and like I already got the power system, already thought of and stuff like that. And also, they made antagonists. I think they're gonna be unique because I haven't really seen a bad guy like this because they want to wipe out the universe, not because they saw the evils of humanity or because something bad happened to them. They simply just believe that existence is pointless. It's all going to end, so why not just end
So
it now?
basically, they're a moody emo teenager.
Well, you didn't have to vote it like that, but yes.
Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong.
I
Well,
find that relatable.
My main character can call upon the powers of the Eldritch Rage. Like it's weird. Like you got a lot of these messed up, sinister looking people that been basically been hiding in the shadows for years and years, never really disturbed. The legend goes, if you see one, you are destined to be killed or kidnapped. But if you have
Mine,
allowed themselves to be attached to humans, but if you do
my,
that, you're under a blood oath for life with them.
my OC is literally my original character, aka the character I use for YouTube, is just a supernatural entity who hunts down evil and literally kills
But I
everything.
got
So, Dio, you say it's creatures of the afterlife. Does that mean Anubis exists?
yes.
Anubis.
Yes.
Anubis.
Now I am only going to limit to five gods of the afterlife: Osiris, and there's a couple of others like Hades and Pluto, who okay. So kind of
I like Anubis though.
anyway, Anubis is going to be like Osiris's right hand, if you will.
Okay.
But what I'm going to go with is the world is going to be based on a RPG kind of setting, meaning it's going to. There's no such thing as America, China, Russia, Antarctica, that kind of thing. It's mythical fake land. It's your RPG, universe, right? And so you're going to have like it will be advanced. Like one nation will be advanced to modern day where manga and video games are real. So the main character will be somewhat relatable in a way, but not in that obnoxious, lame ass kind of relatable, mind you. And there's like other nations where it's basically held on Earth simply because there's literally a country that is hell, and there's also the country that is heaven.
The country of hell.
Wait,
War
would
between
wait,
Spanish and
Dio,
Vikings. That's
would
we
your
haven't seen that
theory
too often, so let's do that.
also, I hate to ask this, but I always ask this for some reason. But Dio, would your franchise and series have like a multiverse thing? Would there be like a
Mm,
multiverse?
no.
Oh,
Oh, hold on, Silent Joker, what were you saying though?
If I were to finish the rough ideas I have for my idea, kind of between the war of Spanish and Viking culture, like they're at
Yeah.
Well, that'd be
war.
pretty interesting.
But there's
Ah,
also kind
nice.
of like you got some part magic, some part versus technology. So like,
Yeah, in
but
fact,
one of the
I
ideas
wanted
I
to.
always had in mind that I always liked is your choices do affect the main campaign, but mine I do like the non-linear type storytelling. So that would kind of like the idea is if you start with one character, there's some place in the timeline, and once you finish that, you start another character. But here's the thing: all the choices that the first character's made is all locked in. So if you fucked up, now you get to see the events play affect how the other characters play. So
Ooh, that's pretty interesting. But also, I gotta say, I really kind of wanted to do like my ability to Kid Demon Hunter is like a mix between like Kimetsu no Yaiba with like the Kevin Kline Will Smith Wild Wild West. Like,
I have a question for you
why
guys.
why you
Yeah.
doing the wild west?
Have did any of y'all as kids watch the show Sherlock Holmes from the 22nd century?
I have.
I heard of it, but I haven't watched it.
This is the
Well,
first time I'm hearing about it.
it was basically Sherlock Holmes got frozen in amber or something. I'm wondering if Alex Hirsch got his idea for that one episode from that. But he wakes up in the 22nd century after he's been chiseled out. And I remember loving that show as a kid. And I always imagined within the same verse a descendant of the hero Zorro. And for anime fans, not One Piece Zorro, Zorro as in what Antonio Banderas played at one point.
Yeah,
Zorro, the guy
in
in
fact,
black who wielded a whip. But I always imagined a descendant of Zorro's who would find out from like a diary or something she finds from him about all he did and stuff and decides to don a similar outfit and call herself Madame Zorro. And
Um,
basically ride on a black horse and fight injustices and stuff. And then at some point there'd be a crossover where the bad guy's like, "Oh, we got to figure out who she is," and someone says, "Well, I've been hearing good things about this Sherlock guy in Britain, maybe we could hire him." And then Sherlock sees what the fuck's going on, so he's basically like, "I'm sorry to say, I have nothing to tell you about who Madame Zorro is," because he realizes, well, if I reveal her identity, these poor people are basically going to lose the only protection they have.
hey, Mr. Anime, can I speak for a sec?
good.
So, since we're about talking about our series, like Mr. Anime is talking about Demon the Kid, Demon Hunter, and Dio was talking about his series, I want to do a cryptic message what my series will be all about. Cult-based fairy tales.
Ooh, that sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, it
And
would like.
basically,
I'm not
to
gonna give out
actually answer
very. I'm not
yeah,
gonna
and
give.
good,
I'm not
good.
giving. I'm not gonna give out like details just yet. I'll share on my Discord and maybe tell others like you, Mr. Anime. But yeah, just imagine cult-based fairy tales.
Yeah, in fact, basically, I used to remember watching freaking Wild Wild West back when I was a kid. I mean, I still love that movie to this day, especially the part where freaking like Will Smith's character is like
All right,
that.
no, Mr. Knife Guy.
Oh God,
Oh, I
Also,
thought
that
I thought Mr. Anime was going to start talking about that scene where the other guy says, "You could be my manservant," and Will Smith starts saying, "Oh yes, Amasa. Is there anything else you want? If you really think I'm gonna really do that?"
I
The
like the
only one
part
I
where
remember is all right is the No Mr. Knife Guy because that was the only good line in the film for me. And it was the line before the kill.
yeah. In fact, I
And
remember
he
the
get
part
and he
where
did this
freaking
movie instead of the Matrix. Let that
yeah.
sink in.
Basically,
He
what
has
happened was
admitted though he would have not done a good job as Keanu Reeves. So at least
Yeah, but
he's on
you do
that.
gotta wonder if he kicks himself once he saw how well the Matrix did.
yeah,
Hey,
and
my
also I simply gotta say, freaking the part that I was actually trying to mention before I got cut off, the part where freaking like Jim West, played by Will Smith, he actually sees a dude's head and he's like, "That is a man's head." I mean, no matter how he doesn't watch that scene, never gets old. I mean,
Up in other news, we're getting closer and closer to Elden Ring. Ooh, yes. And yes, there's still no easy mode difficulty, just a bit more variety this time around. Sorry, you journalists. Get to try and play the game.
Wait, I have a question. Is it
Yes.
possible to add a sex scene in a indie comic?
You can
Yes.
do whatever you want.
You do
It's
whatever
your
you want.
comic.
It's your comic.
That's
Do
why
whatever
it's
you
freedom.
want.
I know, but are there like
I mean,
restrictions
you can
for
even
indie
have
comics?
you can even have a
Whoa. Let freaking let Bleach Alex to finish his question.
Is it? Are there like any restrictions for like sex scenes?
I mean, as long as it's not, CP, I'm pretty sure you can do whatever the
Yeah,
fuck
as
you
long
want.
as you're not drawing someone doinking a child, I think you're fine.
I mean, hell, you can probably have scat in it for the God knows reason.
Okay, thanks, guys. I was
Yeah.
debating
Also,
about
that's
having
an
a sex scene in
example,
my indie comic, but
that's just an example. So please, for the love of whatever God you worship, do not put in a scat scene.
Yeah, exactly. We don't.
Don't worry, I
I
won't.
really don't
God,
do scat play.
God damn it, Dio!
It's
It
always
took me 3 years to forget what scat was, and you had to remind me.
it's always God damn it, Dio, but never house Dio.
Okay, God damn it, Dio! How can you not realize you shouldn't say things sometimes?
Okay, how about this? How's Dio?
But anywho, speaking of video games, I do want to bring up something. I have heard nothing but good things about the Pokemon Arceus game, and I'm
Let
planning
me.
on getting it in the future.
Oh, I'm getting it on the 5th. My
All right.
friend
Let me.
Emma,
All
who
right.
was
I got
able
some
to.
buddies who played it, so they told me this. It definitely has evolved to series. Finally,
No
in a
pun
good way.
intended.
No pun intended. But they did say what they really like is how it's done now. You basically go
My,
back to the past of the Sinnoh region. You're kind of like the very first person to be like, hey, let's build that. You get to see the start of how humans and Pokemon united or got together, so you get to catch them. But instead, you can do it this way. It's basically one big, gigantic safari. Nope, you can catch a Pokemon the normal way, or you can throw the Pokeball right away. You might catch them instantly or not. You can use berries to distract them. You can hide in the grass for a little bit if you want to sneak up on them and get them correctly. But be aware of the big red eyes ones. They're basically like your mob monsters, where they can charge at you and flung you across half the map. But as cool as that is, the downside to that is there's no gym battles, so they got to do a lot of side quests. That's fine and all, especially if you want to be a completionist and complete that Pokédex. But
Nice.
their idea is wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. You'll understand once you start playing it, but they said if we ever do get another sequel like that ever again, hopefully they can improve upon it. Because at this point in the Switch lifespan, there's kind of no excuse to be like, why is your world so open yet nothingness besides all the Pokemon?
Yeah.
Like, there's
well,
no
anyway,
excuse.
my friend
Like The
Emma
Witcher,
was
I know,
able
different
to.
company, CD Projekt Red is a badass company, but at the same time, it's like, despite that hardware limitation, they made The Witcher playable and still make it look good enough to be like, wow, this is what The Witcher's like on the Switch. It's pretty
Okay.
good.
Anyway, my friend Emma was able to go to the store yesterday and buy her copy, and she says it's fun so far. So I'm just hoping because one of the ads it shows the female character jumping off a cliff and then she's carried off by a bird Pokemon. I'm just hoping we have that as an option because I want to be able to scream YOLO and jump off a cliff and then just get carried by a giant bird Pokemon.
that
Oh, and if
that
you
would
get
be that's so
like
much fun.
like if it's like if it's bravery, just flying like America, fuck yeah, coming to save the day every day,
Yeah,
America.
yeah, that's actually so much fun. Well, also another thing about my ability to get Demon Hunter story, I wanted to actually, add some like references to like freaking Demon Slayer, like the Listeria that uses to actually repel demons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, that's actually kind of like one of my like little hat tips to the creator of Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Well, I mean, just remember, there's a difference between being inspired by and being too inspired by. Like, you don't
Inspired.
want it to be way too obvious, and more like just a little wink.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I was watching a video based off of the subreddit Nature is fucking lit, and the guy doing the video showed a picture of a wisteria tree growing up among on the side of a wall of a house that looked abandoned, and he says, "Now, don't get me wrong. I know demons are very scary, but you don't need to grow a whole wisteria tree on your house." And I'm like, God damn it.
God.
Awesome fucking
Nice.
picture, and he made a reference to Demon Slayer.
Nice. Yeah, Mr. A, it's 156. You want to call it shorts or?
Yeah, let's call it good for now, because let's get our final goodbyes out of the way, so that way, you know, I did promise that I actually would head over to Ruby King's stream if he's still doing it.
Alright.
I think he still is.
All right.
Let me
Yeah.
go
Well,
check.
Who's going first?
I mean, I'm vice versa. House the last 20. We usually go for like, the last to the first.
yeah.
So yeah,
So,
my final goodbye. Oh, my goodbye. It's not final goodbye. Great stream. Kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting you to do it today. But Encanto's awesome. Good movie.
Louisa's actually attractive as a buff girl for once, as opposed
Yes,
to She
yes.
Hulk.
And also the movie is not for you a-holes that want to put in your little token ideals or whatever. Also, I highly recommend anyone to get the Pokemon Arceus game and the what was it, Grand Blue? No, not Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear because, well, mommy milkers.
hell yeah.
And
Yeah, it's a
yes,
good game. Good game. I have it
and
on PC.
other than that, remember, my glorious little heathens, to live life and to let your desires burn brightly.
So
All
you
right.
want to be a femboy?
Dude, I'm
Yeah.
already a
Anyway,
fanboy.
Joker.
Not much to say, but this. Ray Rodriguez, you are a fake fan. You are a fake anime fan. You stop lying about High Guardian Spice. You show a disaster, and you're a terrible show writer. Fuck High Guardian Spice.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
that fucking show. I love the designs of some of the characters, but I can't stand the force crap in it.
All right. Anyway, Shadow.
Okay, two things. Dee Dee, you can help me with my my D&D stuff, like how it all works, right? After the stream.
Um, well, I gotta do something in an hour or so,
I mean, I can
since
probably help.
Okay,
but
thanks, Theo.
Alright.
but since the next thing isn't until next week, because I usually do the first Saturday of the month. The only reason it took so long to get back into my campaign is because a lot of shit happened after November to me in my part of the world. So, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Dio, for going to help me. Also, stick with the shadows because at the end of the day, the darkness is always with you.
So you want me to make you a pre-made character, right, Shadow?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want an oathbreaker or do you want a fighter?
Well,
I
to be
want to
fair,
say
I think it'd
fighter.
be best. But I think it'd be best to like kind of show him, all of the options.
Well, you
Yeah, I
have
would do
your
that.
choice between a paladin or a fighter, because those are the only ones that'll allow you to have armor.
Yeah.
I guess I'll do paladin.
So, do you want an oathbreaker or just a regular paladin? Because I already,
Regular.
I already got a regular paladin. Because Nova has not shown up and he has not joined my Discord, so
Hmm.
I'll just take the regular paladin.
All right, let's wrap this up. So, D, you're up.
Yeah.
okay. J.R.R. Martin, if you're watching this, albeit
Wait until I finish the
unlikely
books.
as it may be, it's been over 20 years. I mean, your first book came out in 1996. Please tell me you have an outline for how the story is supposed to end in case of, heaven forbid, you kill over for some reason. Because you keep saying the book's coming, and it's been like, how many years since you said that?
God damn.
Well, he does take it one page at a time. You can't rush this, especially the disaster of the final season. So you gotta do better than that.
Yeah, I call bullshit on how they ended Arya's thing. Look, yeah, she's
They
not a
changed
girl,
writers.
but I think she deserves love as much as any female character like Sansa or something. Why the hell can't she be with Gendry? Fuck, fuck the writers who decided that she wasn't gonna like like a boy who basically idolizes her and would die for her, who's grown to know her. Fuck y'all. She deserves romance as much as the next frilly girl. Damn it.
Also,
All right,
Shadow, if you're still there, I sent the link on GD's Discord.
all right,
I already made an account.
all
Oh,
right.
okay.
So
Anyway, guys, now it's my turn. So, anyway, I do appreciate you guys coming on board, dealing with my shenanigans as per usual. Remember, we're actually still respectful to one another. We all actually have our own differences. We all have our different points of views. But at the end of the day, we're still just, a bunch of good friends, and I want to keep it that way. So, as always, just remember these three things, guys. Respect the waifus, enjoy your feelings, enemies freedom. And until the next one, this is Mr. A3413 saying, sign everyone.
Goodbye.
Penis.
see ya.